Do you think we've seen Harry Kane play at his last major tournament for England?
I hope not. I think he's one of our best strikers we've ever seen. I didn't really get to appreciate the likes of Rooney and players like that. I honestly believe he's one of the best strikers in the world, so I'd rather it wasn't his last major tournament. Obviously, people give him stick for the way he comes back and he doesn't stick up front as a typical 9, but I honestly think he's one of our best strikers we've ever had, and he's a leader as well. He's our skipper. I'd like to see him again.
I mean, he's all-time leading goal scorer,
Exactly,
for goodness'
yeah.
sake. What's one thing, obviously, the Southgate era is done.
Yep.
What's one thing that Lee Carsley needs to learn from that era under Gareth Southgate?
I think it's more the kind of, once we go in the lead, I feel like we've seen a lot of times in games where we've gone 1-0 up early on, and it's kind of we've sat back early on and we've allowed pressure to come on us. I think we should stick it on them a bit more. We should back ourselves a bit more. It's a classic English way to go 1-0 up and then end up losing the game like we always seem to do. I think we should just, if we did go 1-0 up, apply the pressure, keep on going and go from there, to be honest.
We just want goals, don't we?
Yeah, just goals, attacking football, exciting football. We don't want to see the whole passing around the back with two holding midfielders. We've got attacking midfielders. We've got plenty of them. We've got plenty of attacking players. We've got better attacking players than we have defending players. So we want to see a bit more up front, to be honest. That's probably what I'd say.
Personally, I had in my head before Carsley come in for an Eddie Howe or like a Graham Potter or something like that. But if he does the role he needs to do and it's exciting football, which I think a lot of us want, then I think you've got to make a good argument for keeping him in potentially.
How would you answer that, mate? Would you stick with the FA getting a probably easy appointment in, or would you try and be a bit more ambitious?
I think on a personal level, I'd probably try and go for a bit more of an ambitious sign. I think, as Ryan mentioned, a bit of a Graham Potter or Eddie Howe would probably be the kind of lane I'd go down. We've kind of gone with the previous under-21 manager of Gareth Southgate going into the role. To be fair to him, he's had a fairly good run in comparatively to previous managers, but I think there needs to be a bit more ambitious in the appointment they make after Carsley.
We didn't see the greatest tournament of all time from Harry Kane at the Euros. Yeah, he put up a couple of goals, but he was looking a little bit leggy. Do you think we've seen him play for England at his last major tournament?
I don't know. It's tough to say because over the next, say, 1 to 2 years, he's gonna succeed at Bayern, and he's gonna do well. He's gonna score goals. It's just whether Ollie Watkins started the Prem soft. He started slow. He's not scoring as much goals as he was. Obviously, Tony, which is probably the next replacement, has gone to Saudi. So it's tough to say. I don't know who your next replacement is, unless you get a good manager and you potentially go to like a false 9 kind of system. So it's hard to say, mate.
What would you say, mate? Is Kane going to make it to 2026, or is Euro 2024 his last one?
I think for me, it's just off form. If he's scoring goals still, he's playing in a league that's a top 5 league in the world. He's still with Bayern Munich, and if he's still scoring goals, you can't look any further than Harry Kane. He's been a great servant to England. Previously, he's been a great servant to Tottenham, and he does know where the net is.
Lee Carsley, obviously, I mentioned of him coming in. What's one thing that he needs to learn from the Gareth Southgate era?
I feel like, granted, if you win the game, you keep the fans happy, but it's if you don't. And with Southgate, they were winning games, but for the 90 minutes we was watching, you're on your edge of your seat. You're not enjoying it as much. I think we've got exciting players. You watch them every week for your club. You've got exciting players. If you go out there and actually give it your all, because you're watching certain players, you're timid. If you go out there, give it your all. That's all you can ask, to be fair, at the end of the day.
Is that what you want as well, mate? Do you want just that handbrake lifted off? Because especially at the Euros, I was there, and in the stands, I just wanted more goals. I wanted us to just kill games off.
I mean, as a fan, at club level, country, whatever it is, all you want to do is be excited. And even if that means we get to the final against Spain and we have a good go at it and we don't win, you still look at it and go, at least we try, at least we gave it an effort. But if you're going into a game and you're not really attacking, you're having one shot in a game, one shot on target, you can look back and go, we could have done more. And especially with the talent we've got and the players we've got, it's especially with the Euros just gone, you looked at it and thought, maybe.
So would you say it's an excitement factor that Lee Carsley needs to bring in?
100% excitement factor. I'm all for keeping him. If he can come in and say, look, we're going to go and attack teams, we're going to win games and win comfortably, and even if we don't, if we look like we're actually giving it a go rather than sitting back for 90 minutes and with the Euros luckily getting a few goals, you'll be happy.
I'd like to see an elite level manager come in, but I don't think there is one out there. That's the issue. I think there's not really many people for the job. So if he does a good job, keep him in.
Harry Kane obviously didn't perform up to his usual standards at Euro 2024. Do you reckon that's the last major tournament we've seen him in?
I think so, yeah. I think the English people want to see an attractive style of football, and I don't think he brings that. I think the way Harry Kane plays and the way he fits around the team, I don't think it's attractive. I don't think it's good enough for English fans. So
good enough for English fans. I mean, he's our all-time leading goal scorer. He just looked a bit leggy in Germany, didn't he?
That's it. He looked lazy. He looked like he wasn't moving anywhere. He didn't really do anything. So I think you get someone else who can do a better job, and I think there is people out there who can do a better job. I think Ivan Toney, would bully defenders. For example, when we played Italy, I think if we'd put Ivan Toney up front, I think he would have bullied the two central defenders. I think that's the player he is. I think he would have bullied people more than Harry Kane did anyway.
What's one thing that Lee Carsley needs to learn from the Gareth Southgate era now that it's over?
I think he needs to learn that the English fans want to see attractive football and they want to see interesting football. So, for example, we went 1-0 up. Well, we got a goal back or something against Italy, and we just sat back. Instantly it was defensive, and I think it's been like that since the start of his reign. So I think bringing someone in who can play good football, attractive football, and exciting football. I think that's what
we want goals, don't we? We want goals.
Everyone wants to see attractive football that is fun to watch. It's people get excited about it. So I think that's what we need.
Mate, if Lee Carsley excels, would you like to keep him in, or do you want a more elite level manager to take charge of England?
I'd probably take an more elite manager.
Who would you like?
Klopp.
Klopp, he says.
Got to be Klopp, answer.
I'd go on a limb with Mourinho.
You think Jose?
I'd take Jose.
But the thing is, with Jose, obviously he's an elite level manager, but it's negative football. We had negative football under Gareth Southgate. Yeah. Do you want more of that?
No.
See, yeah, I think with Mourinho, he's more of a bigger name. I think he might sort of
galvanise the nation.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah,
you think because he would be unbelievable in the press, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Touchline, everything.
Yeah.
We probably might actually win something as well. Harry Kane, from what we saw at Euro 2024, do you think that was his last major tournament in an England shirt?
I'd probably say not his last major tournament, but maybe his last tournament is more the focal point of the team. But he probably needs to hand the rein down to someone like Ivan Toney. Regardless of what league he plays in, I think the player is the player, and he should sort of still get. He's still the same player playing over there than he is in the Premier League. So regardless of where he's playing, he's still the same quality of player.
What's one thing that Lee Carsley needs to learn from the Gareth Southgate era coming into his interim period, and if he gets it on a long-term basis as well?
Don't wear a waistcoat.
Don't wear a waistcoat.
Don't wear a waistcoat.
Nothing about the style of play. No negativity about style of play. Just a waistcoat.
No, just don't wear a waistcoat.
And don't wear nice sort of like linen sort of shirts as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything on the style of play? Just like you want to be scoring more goals, ideally, don't we?
Yeah, probably. But don't know. Just anything less negative than what his predecessor was, then he should be all right.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.